We should slide it back. Game number 2 is about to start between Hack and Macsed, and it's going to be on Yansu for our second map. So thanks to the muscle men for pushing the desk back in frame, and thanks to you for assisting in that endeavor.
I assisted a lot.
You were a huge help, Mike. Let's go ahead and hop into Yansu, our second map between these two players. All right, Mike. Game number 1, we saw Hack going for the 3-base all-in with the SCV pull. Didn't work out. What do you think he's going to do here in Game 2?
Well, it kind of depends on what Macsed opens with. And if it's the same kind of opening and same kind of situation, I think he might go for that SCV pull again, even though it didn't work last game. If it's just the kind of style he prefers, we could end up seeing it a lot from him. I know Bomber does that a lot as well. A lot of the games I see Bomber do it, and he'll do it even 2 to 3 times each series, so that's definitely a possibility. This is another map which I feel like kind of favors the Protoss a little bit. So if it goes into a macro game, I think he might decide to do some play like that again.
Cool. Of course, we have spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner of Yansu, the red Protoss player from Invictus Gaming. It is Macsed. And in the top right, as I just fixed the scoreboard, the blue Terran player from StarTale, it is Hack. Got a gas opening this time from Hack, Mike. Already pretty different. I would go ahead and wager that it's going to be for that initial Reaper Scout, but he does have a range of possibilities. He could go factory, he could go for the Hellion opening. Widow Mine's also not unheard of.
I think it'll probably be the Reaper, like you're guessing. Could always be for this Hellions, but with the probe scouting so quickly, I don't think he'll throw it in a factory in front of this probe.
Yep. And the timing of the barracks finishing up says that he does, in fact, want to just have enough for the Reaper versus the 100 gas you would need to start that factory anyway. So Macsed, of course, is going to see it, and he's going to know exactly what to expect out of his opponent. Will drop that Cyber Core immediately, and he's going to want to get a Mothership Core or a Stalker or something like that out to deal with this Reaper.
Reaper is a good build for this map. There's that nice ledge in the back that you can kind of jump up on as well. And there's a big cliff around the main. You can jump up anywhere in there. And also, it's just, I think, to protect for small ones against the Protoss. Like the Blink Stalker one is incredibly effective on this map, just because there's so many places you can blink to the main. And the main base is pretty large as well. It's a lot of ground to cover. So it's nice to be able to scout that out maybe with the Reaper.
Macsed so intelligently already placing pylons around the perimeter of his base because he knows to expect this Reaper, and he wants to see it as soon as he possibly can. Behind the Reaper, it's an expansion, Mike. So Reaper expand the build for StarTale Hack. He knows that it's my favorite. It's a good build, you know.
It's a good build.
Reaper is crossing the map right now. He looks a little angry. And for good reason. There's a Zealot in his way. But with this Stalker out, the Reaper's going to have no choice but to get the hell out of here. You know, I don't really like the fact that he didn't scout anything. All he saw was the Zealot.
Yeah, but he's not going to see too much yet. I think he'll pop back in there in another minute or so, see what he sees then. That's when the tech will be going down from Macsed.
Macsed has both assimilators down, but he's only mining gas with 4 probes right now. Also expanding. Right on time. So very normal builds from both players here. Reaper chased all the way back to Hack's natural, where there is a bunker waiting. Of course, Macsed is leading 1-0 in the series after a nice defense on Belshir Vestige. Ooh, that Reaper ran right past the probe. Very polite of that Reaper. Let this probe live on.
And I think we see Macsed, he's going to go for a quick gateway push. He's adding a couple gateways now in the corner of his base. This Reaper might be able to scout them.
Oh, he's going to start harassing the probe line first. One probe is going to go down. Sentry's going to try to give chase, but he's going to have a real hard time catching this Reaper. Mike's second probe kill. This is a great, both a great Reaper harass and a great Reaper scout. He's going to see those 3 extra gateways, and that will make it a little bit harder for Macsed's aggression to work out, but crouching probe, hidden pylon, and in spite of the fact that bunkers are going down, Macsed's going to have no issues warping in units and being very close to the natural expansion of his opponent.
hidden for now. I think Hack will figure out what's going on shortly, however. We'll have to see how much Macsed wants to commit to this, because those gateways have been scouted, and that makes it a lot weaker than it would have been otherwise.
Yep, he might be changing gears already as we see the robo going down and probe production continuing. So I guess there's no reason for probe production ever really to stop, Mike.
Nope, only he
But
would.
it is continuing regardless.
Yeah. He'd only stop that if he was fully committing to this, and he needed the extra money to warp in one more Zealot at a crucial timing. But it's obviously not committing too much. I think he's just trying to fake it a little with this warp in here.
He's going to show a couple of units, just keep Hack nervous. We see Hack is responding. Going to go ahead and pull some SCVs. These are things that he has to do. He can't really afford not to have those SCVs off the line, because if the push does come and he can't repair, it's well, he's going to regret it. But as we can see, Hack is very safe, and Macsed is very non-committal, as these Zealots and Sentries are already going back home. So we will see these guys go on into the mid-game. Robotics Bay has begun for Macsed. He played Phoenix Colossus last time. This time there is no Stargate, so it will just be Gateway Colossus for now.
Yep, pretty standard build from Macsed. It's the most common build in PvT. And we'll have to see how he wants to transition. Will he go for a quicker third?
Reaper trying to be an all-star is not actually going to see much, because the Stalker was in a good spot. But excellent activity around the map here for Hack, just trying to find those openings. I often say that the difference between the good players and the great players, Mike, is that the great players never stop scouting.
Yeah, and Macsed, he's also showing some pretty nice unit retention, keeping this Reaper alive, not making any silly mistakes and losing it to a Stalker and a Mothership Core. That's helping him a lot as he continues to poke around, see the third base timing, see the unit count, stuff like that.
Yep. Reaper pokes over to the third base, sees nothing there. I don't think he was expecting to see anything there, but hey, just in case. Meanwhile, Macsed's going to do some scouting of his own. Observer! I thought Hack saw it, but it looks like, in fact, he was just sending off a couple of Marines. Observer will make its way into the main, and it's going to see a pretty similar looking picture. There are, this time, 4 barracks and a starport, and a 5th barracks going down. So what do you make of that, Mike?
Well, it's the 5 barracks on 2 bases. The third base is going to be delayed for quite a while, as Hack wants to put a lot of pressure on 2 bases. He's just going to crank out a lot of units, get that +1 attack for his units, get some medevacs out, and try to apply the pressure on Macsed. It's not an all-in by any means, as he's probably going to take a third base eventually, but you just want to build a lot more units on 2 bases and apply pressure with your medevacs.
Yep. Would have mind down at Macsed's third is going to make it very hard for Macsed to actually expand there. We're going to see a big stem as Marines and Marauders make their way into the main, and they're going to focus down the Robo, and it is going to be killed off before that building Colossus could pop out. There's only a single Colossus on the map for Macsed right now, and that's a great little pickoff for Hack.
That's an enormous pickoff for Hack. Now Macsed's Thermal Lance is only 40 seconds from completion, but he's only going to have 1 Colossi for that.
And for all of our newbie friends at home, 1 Colossus is not enough. That's all.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any other kind of tech path yet, so his army's going to be very weak for a long time. And this will enable Hack's aggression to do a lot more. Usually, you want some Vikings to be able to push in with this kind of 5 racks on 2 bases, but with only 1 Colossi, I think he'll be able to be more aggressive with his bio units, and maybe just attack and ignore the Colossi damage, and focus down the gateway units at the front.
Good observer positioning here for Macsed. He doesn't want to be caught by another drop like that. Single observer covering the left side. Oh gosh, but will it see these medevacs? Oh my god, that is unfortunate. Medevacs making it all the way into the main base, where they will unload. And there is not enough here for Macsed to deal with it. He's forced to cast Photon Overcharge. Colossus does show back up, and that is going to be enough to usher out these medevacs, but once more, a nice blow dealt there by Hack. If we look at the resources lost tab, we can see it is far, far in favor of Hack. He's been much more cost-effective than Macsed has been this time around.
And Macsed's in a lot of trouble right now. He's teching up to that charge lot, but he's not going to have the Psy Storm for several minutes yet. And that's crucial. He needs this upgrade because his only splash damage right now is that 1 Colossi, and that's not enough to deal with the large Bioforce.
He also never rebuilt his Robo, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I guess he just decided to play through the transition, but man, he's going to be so susceptible to attacks for such a long time. Hack might not realize this. If he knew that there was no threat of additional splash damage, he would probably be more aggressive, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I think it'd be almost impossible for Macsed to defend a push if Hack committed with all of his units. Even without an SCV pull, he only has one Colossus and a small force of Zods. That quadruple medevac drop in the main picked off all of his stalkers and several Zods as well. And Macsed just nothing has gone right for him this game so far.
That one Colossus is going to be terribly terribly outnumbered when he does meet these 10 Vikings that are going to be on the map. 10 Vikings will make short work of a single Colossus.
Yeah, it might kill one Marine before it dies, but I think that's all he can hope for.
So not looking good for this derpy-looking guy.
He does have Psystorm completed now, and he has 4 Templar with about 1 storm each. He's going to need those storms to be able to take any kind of fight against Hack's army.
Now with charge done and with 2-2 finishing up, Macsed's fighting strength is increasing. And as you pointed out, the Templar Archives is down. Psystorm has been completed. Oh man, this Colossus is going to have such a bad day.
Yeah.
And he doesn't shoot at all. Alright, sucks to be that guy. Here we go, Macsed is going to go ahead and fight. Pretty good force fields being laid down, and a lot of bio. He's going to get killed by Zealot only, so well done there, Macsed. He trades effectively, but man, look at this. At the same time, he's being dropped in the main base. Nexus is going to get focused down. Stemmed bio under medevacs, well, that is too much damage output for a single photon overcharge to deal with. Meanwhile, the army of Macsed is kind of surrounded. He's got Terran to the left of him and Terran to the right. Mike, he's stuck in the middle.
He is, and all Hack has to do in this position is defend. He's taken out the main base of Macsed, and without a main base, Macsed kind of has to do something with his attack. And you see Hack, he's just kiting away and delaying this attack from going to his natural for as long as possible, and there's no danger of losing these bio units. He can pick them up at any time.
Yeah, lots of Zealots are going to melt away here. The Vikings landed and tried to fight another contingent of Zealots, but that did not go so well. But what is going very well is this drop in the main base. The Nexus was killed, pylons killed, unpowering several gateways, and this is really all Macsed has on the map at this point, Mike. He has a scary-ish army, 70 army supply to 70 army supply, but man, snipes from the high ground, kill every single High Templar, and suddenly that's not such a scary army anymore.
Nope, not at all. This High Templar were his only chance of getting back in this game. He needed some pretty good Psystorms to have a chance of fighting what Hack has now. And with only Zods, I don't think there's any way he wins this. I guess he has 2 more Templars just joined up. Not enough energy for a storm yet. They will shortly, but he has no gateway units to support him, really.
Yeah. Snipe being used on Zealots. That's when you know you're way ahead. And Startail Hack has looked just phenomenal from beginning to end here on Yonsu. Macsed's final units are melting away. He drops a single Desperation Psystorm. 2 more Templar will come forward, but they're not even going to see an opportunity to drop any storms. Good game gets called as Hack evens up the series at 1-8. She looked much better there on Yonsu.
Definitely, and everything kind of went wrong for Macsed that game. First, his 4 gateways